Alright YouTube, it's just your girl Chef G back with another video. So today we're making some of Grandma's favorite and one of my favorites as a child. We're doing hamburger steak or Salisbury steak, rice and gravy, and some sweet peas. I'm going to show you how to do my hamburger steak rice. I've already told you how to do rice in another video. So, excuse me. So go check out that video. And no, I don't have the corona. I got something stuck in my throat. Check out that video about rice. Me cooking some rice. Trying to think what else. Sweet peas I'm just going to do in a little bit of veggie stock. Salt, pepper, garlic powder. I'm also going to make a strawberry yogurt cake. It's kind of like a pound cake. So I'm going to start with that first. And then I'll move into my Salisbury steak. And I'm going to talk to you guys about one more thing as we're cooking. So let me wash my hands. Alright. Hands are washed. Drying them off now. So, I want to mention this kind of early. I'll talk about it a little bit more as we go. But if you guys can see this bracelet that I have on today, it matches my shirt, believe it or not. This is a bracelet that was given to me for Mother's Day by one of my cousins who has a group, a marriage group on Facebook called Loving God and You Forever. She gave all of the women in the group a Mother's Day gift. So this was one of mine. It says, trust in the Lord. Okay. It's a good reminder. Okay. We have to trust in the Lord with everything we do. Okay. The lady she ordered this from, she has a Facebook page where you can order jewelry. It's paparazzi, nickel free, lead free, $5 to $20 pieces. And it is called 3D Jewels. I'll put it down in the description below so you guys can check her out, see what she has. She often does Facebook Lives. I forget what day it is, but you can also check her out on her Facebook Lives where she shows the inventory that she has in stock. But if you didn't know, green was my favorite color. If you guys can see that. So I chose to wear this today with my little green shirt, trying to match y'all. And of course I got green in my wedding ring. So, if you didn't know, now you know. Green is my favorite color. So, if you want to send me something green, let me know. Alright, so, my grandma, she used to cook not all the time, but especially for holidays, okay? So, Mother's Day just passed. We went to visit her at her grave site. She died in 2006. She was the one of the family, I would say. But she practically helped raise me as a child. And so I helped her cook a lot of food throughout my life. So that's kind of how I got interested in being a chef or, you know, cooking or whatever. So I'll show you how she did her Salisbury steak with a little twist on some of the things that I've learned over the years as I've been going on being a chef and going to school. Okay, but first we're going to start off with this pound cake, guys. Okay, so I have my bundt pan. So you're going to need a bundt pan. This is I want to say about 9-inch bundt pan. 2 sticks of unsalted butter, softened, so it needs to be room temperature. You're going to need sugar, 2 cups. You're going to need 3 eggs. I have 3 in there. 1, 2, 3. Room temperature. Okay. 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. 1 tablespoon of vanilla. And 1 teaspoon of almond extract. Okay. You're going to need 2½ cups of flour. This is 2 cups. You're going to separate the ½ cup into a separate bowl because it's going to be used for something else. So I have my ½ cup over here. Okay. half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of baking soda. I have my Greek yogurt, 1 cup or 8 ounces. Okay. You can use fresh strawberries because they're in season right now. I'm going to use this frozen strawberry because it was something I had in my freezer already. So what's the point of going buy more if I have them already? Okay. You're going to need powdered sugar. And this is going to be used for our glaze. So I'm going to use some powdered sugar. We're going to use 1 cup of that. And then I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of a half and half to make our glaze to go on our pound cake. Alright guys, let me quit acting silly. And let's get started on this recipe. So, bring you guys down here, of course, to my bowl. Alright. So we have our bowl. First we're going to start off with butter. Okay. This is called creaming method. So I'm going to put my 2 sticks of butter in my bowl. Okay. So we're talking about the creaming method. The creaming method consists of butter and sugar combined to be 1. Okay. Butter and sugar combined to be 1. Okay. Make sure I have my butter in there. Alright, so I have my softened butter. It's been sitting at room temperature. I'm going to add in my 2 cups of sugar. You guys can do this in a KitchenAid. I'm not going to pull out a KitchenAid. I have one. I don't have it here. I let my sister-in-law borrow it. So I might have to get me another one so I can have 2. Alright, but we're going to combine our butter and sugar. Okay, I'm going to add all my sugar. I'm going to start off with this fork because it's a little bit easier than that whisk. Okay. Alright, so what we're doing is combining our butter and sugar together. If you guys can see that, butter and sugar is coming together. Fairly nicely. If you do this in a KitchenAid, you want to use the mixing paddle. Okay, it's the one that kind of looks like a little triangle, almost in that triangle shape. It has a flat end. It's called a paddle. Okay, it's used for creaming, making cookies, cakes, and things like that. Okay. All right, so I have butter and sugar mixed together as 1. Okay, you guys see that? The sugar and the butter are mixed together. Alright. Next thing I'm going to do is add my eggs. This is very important that you do it this way, guys, okay? Do it this way. Butter and sugar first. Then we're going to add eggs, 1 at a time. Okay, make sure you don't get any shells. Alright, I'm going to add egg. We're going to mix. Okay, once this is mixed in, then we'll add our next egg. Okay, egg number 2. I'm going to mix it in. Very important that you follow the directions, guys, because baking is a science, so you want to make sure you do it exactly right. Okay. All right. Last egg. Egg number 3. All right. Get that mixed in. So you notice that we didn't have liquid, but we have liquid in our lemon juice, and our Greek yogurt will substitute as our liquid. Okay, so you don't have to add milk or anything to this. Alright, you want to make sure you get this mixed in very well. Alright, you guys can see, mix it in very well. Eggs have turned the sugar and butter yellow, nice and yellow. So make sure you get it mixed in well. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our lemon juice, vanilla, and almond extract. So in the lemon juice. Okay. Notice after I add something, I always do a mix. Okay. I'm going to add our vanilla. And our almond. Okay, y'all have to excuse my dog. Let me go let her out and I'll be right back. Alright, I got everything, all my extracts mixed in. You guys can see what it looks like. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start adding in the flour. Okay? So before we add in our flour, we're going to mix in our salt and baking soda. Okay? I'll mix those two things in together. And then we're going to alternate dry and our wet. Okay? So our wet is considered our Greek yogurt. Alright? So I'm going to go about half. Actually, I'm going to go a third of our flour. I'm going to get some of that mixed in. Dior. Come on now. Alright. We're going to go with some yogurt. Half of that. Hold on just a second. Alright, we got half of our yogurt in. We're going to get that mixed in. The most important thing is not to overmix this, guys. Okay? I'm going to add in a third more of our flour. Get that mixed in. I'm going to add in the rest of our yogurt. So you want to start with dry and you want to end with dry. Okay? Get that mixed in. And it's okay if you have a few lumps, they'll cook out. But you want to get as many out as you can. Lastly, of our flour. And get that mixed in. Okay, so before I get all of that mixed, okay, before I get all of that mixed in, you guys can see, bring y'all over here, there's still a little bit of flour, so it's not mixed all the way. So what I'm going to do with my half a cup of flour and my strawberries is mix those two things together. And this is just to coat the strawberries so they'll kind of stick. They won't go to the bottom of your cake batter. Okay? So just give them a nice little toss to coat them with the flour. So just like that. I'm going to put the last of our little bit of flour into our bowl. And I'm going to get a rubber spatula. And I'm going to fold in my strawberries into my batter. Okay. Make sure you get all your flour because you're going to need it. Okay. So folding means up, go to the bottom, bring it over, just like that. That is folding. Okay. You're folding this so your strawberries don't turn your cake red. And also coating them with the flour keeps them from turning the cake red as well. Okay. So we'll get this mixed up. I'll come back and show you how we're going to put it in our bundt pan. Alright guys, I got everything mixed in. No flour left in our batter. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some pan spray in my bundt pan. And I'm going to generously spray my pan. Okay. because we don't want this to stick. So spray all up on the side, in the middle, and then around the side. Don't forget the bottom. So do a generous amount. Okay, don't be stingy with it. Okay, just like that. Now my grandma, what she used to do, and she would put a little flour, but she would use butter instead of pan spray. But she would put butter that pan up real good, and use some flour, dust it around in there, in the pan. That would be her, to make sure that her cake didn't stick. Okay? And I'm going to do that too, because we're going to cook like Grandma did, okay? So let me get a little bit of flour. Okay? And I'm just going to dump a little bit in here, and I'm going to coat my pan. Okay? So all I'm going to do is just take and go around, just like so. Okay? Grab me a little bit more flour. This also helps you see if you got enough butter or pan spray in your pan. Because where you see it don't stick, then that means it wasn't enough. Okay? So floured pan. You guys can see it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my cake. Okay? This is my batter. Like I said, I use frozen strawberries. You can use fresh because they are in season. That's just some I had here at home. Okay? Into my pan. And you want to make sure you put some on all sides. Okay. Use a rubber spatula so you make sure you get all your cake batter out. Because we don't want to leave any in the bowl. And as a child, I used to love to lick the bowl and the spoon. But I'm not going to lick it this time. Okay? Alright. So I'm going to wipe the edge of my pan off because I got a little bit on the outside. We don't want it on the outside. Okay? You want to make sure you kind of shake it till it's even. Okay? Once it's nice and even in your bundt pan, we're going to go to the oven, cold oven, for hour, maybe hour 15 minutes, just depending on your oven. Like I say in all of my videos, judge it by your oven. Test it with a toothpick to see if it's done. But we're going to start off with an hour and 15 minutes, and we'll check it after that. We're going to go in a cold oven, 350 degrees. And we'll pull it out in an hour and 15 minutes. I'll be right back and we'll start our Salisbury steaks. Alright guys, I'm back. I have my ingredients for my Salisbury steak. So of course I have some ground beef. This is 80-20 ground beef. We're going to use some salt. We're going to throw a little bit of our twang spice in there. This is what I'm going to add in extra. My grandma used salt, black pepper, a little garlic powder. I'm going to throw a little Italian seasoning in there, and a little bit of Worcestershire. Okay? But like I said, my grandma, she just used a basic salt, pepper, and she threw a little diced onions in it. I'm not going to put the diced onions in there. I'm going to do those with my gravy. So I'm going to do an onion gravy. Okay? Okay? Here we go. So we're going to go with salt. We're going to season until the spirit tells us that it's enough, honey, okay? And when the spirit, when grandma says, "Oh, girl, I'm gonna stop, okay? So we listening to Grandma right now, okay? She's up in heaven. She's been dead for, this is 2020. She died in 2006, so 14 years. So this year in August, she'll be celebrating her 75th birthday, okay? So, if she was still alive. But we still gonna celebrate with her. So when Grandma say, "Hold, girl," I'm gonna stop, okay? Because Ella Mae knew what she was doing when she was in the kitchen cooking. She didn't use measuring spoons and things like that. She just pulled it in there, okay? So that's what we doing today. We just gonna pull it in there, okay? Let me get y'all right so y'all can see real good what we're doing, okay? So when Grandma say, "Hold, girl," we're gonna stop. All right, you ready, Grandma? Her name was Ella Mae, just so if you guys want to know. So we got salt. All right. We're gonna do our black pepper. We're gonna go in with our garlic powder. We're gonna go in with our Italian seasoning. Do a few shakes of that. This is an addition that I kind of put in there of what I like to have in my Salisbury steak. Okay. We're gonna go with our twang spice. We're gonna throw a little of that in there. Okay, we're going to go with a little Worcestershire. Okay, so when you make this at home, you season the way you want to season to your grandma or your great grandma or whoever tells you, "Hold, girl," or "Hold, son." That's enough, okay? So we're going to mix that in. And then we're going to take a little look at them. Okay, you want to see your seasonings too, guys. Okay, you should smell them. And you should see them. Okay, we don't want to over mix this, so we're going to stop mixing now. I think I want a little bit more Worcestershire, Grandma. What you think? Okay, a couple more dashes. See, a couple more dashes of Worcestershire. A little bit more black pepper, Grandma? Okay, a little bit more. Just a tad. Salt. What you think, Grandma? You know we got high blood pressure running in the family. Okay, I'm gonna start on the salt. Garlic powder. Okay, we go a little bit more garlic powder. Okay, that's the end of that. Okay. I'm gonna throw a little bit more Italian seasoning too, Grandma. Okay. Let's throw a little bit more Italian seasoning in there. Okay. So that's looking about right. I smell it. Smelling good. Okay, so 80-20, let me bring you up for a second. Talk to you. 80-20 beef means that it's 80% lean, 20% fat. Okay, so to keep our burgers from shrinking so much, I'm going to add a little flour to it. Okay, you can get less fat. You can get an 85-15. You can get a 90-10, whatever you like, whatever kind of ground beef you want. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of flour in it, and that's what she did to keep them from shrinking up so much. Okay, so this flour is going to tighten it up. All right, so I got about a 1/4 cup of flour I'm going to add to it, mix it in. Okay, I'm going to finish mixing this. I'll be right back, show you how to form those patties. All right, guys, bring you guys back down here. Show you how I'm going to do my Salisbury steak. So I'm using a portion scoop. So they'll all be even, same size. Okay, make my ball. Then I'm going to pat it out just a little, if you guys can see that, just as if I was making a hamburger. And Grandma would used to put them in the pan and fry them, okay? But I'm not going to fry them today. I'm going to use this air fryer, okay? So we're going to throw them in the air fryer. All right, so I had them all portioned out. I just want to show you guys. So I'm going to throw these in the air fryer, and I'll be back, and we're going to start making our homemade gravy. All right, so I got them in the air fryer, 370, 15 minutes. So what I'm doing now is heating up a tablespoon of butter and about 2 or 3 tablespoons of oil that I'm going to saute some onions in. Like I said, Grandma used to fry her hamburger patties in the pan, use the grease from that to make the gravy. I'm going to do a little bit different because I want to do an onion gravy. But I'm going to put these onions in to saute. And I'll be right back. Alright guys, our onions are cooking good. I'm going to go ahead and add in our flour so we can start making our roux. Okay. I'm going to get a brown roux. It's going to take a few minutes, so I'm going to come back and show you guys once I get my brown roux. But flour and oil, or flour and a fat, will give you a roux. And I'm just using the fat that I'm sauteing my onions in, okay? So I'm going to get this brown, and I'll be back with to finish off my gravy with a little bit of vegetable broth. You guys can see that. Some veggie broth. I'll show you again. To thicken it, to make my gravy. So give me a few minutes. I'll be back. Alright guys, we got our roux where we want it to be. Nice and chocolate. So what we're going to do, I have a little bit of extra chicken broth left over, so I'm going to add that first, and then we'll add in our veggie broth. Okay, then we'll let this pour this over our burgers and let it simmer down. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, our burgers are done, y'all. Y'all see how good this air fryer cooked those burgers? Honey, Grandma would be proud of me, even though I didn't cook them in the pan. But I think Grandma would have liked this air fryer. It wasn't around when she was around living and things. But if she was living now, she would love it. Okay? So what I'm going to do is going to put these into pot. My gravy. Let me take you over here where it's at real quick. So my gravy's doing good. Y'all see that? Nice brown onion gravy. I'm going to let that simmer down. I'm going to pour it over my burgers. Let that simmer down, absorb that flavor. We'll be right back. I almost forgot, y'all. I'm going to add a little bit of ketchup, give it a little bit of sweetness, as well as a little depthness to this brown gravy. I'm going to do about 2 tablespoons. Then I'm going to add it to my pot with my burgers and let it simmer down for about 30 minutes. By that time, our cake should be about ready, and we'll be back to show you everything we have. Alright, guys. I'm back. Everything is ready. I just got to make my sauce that's going to go over my cake. Remember, 1 cup of powdered sugar. Let me get my vanilla. I'm going to do about a teaspoon of vanilla. Bring you guys down here real quick.